the 52 years period, has decided that an inheritance for which they added no thought. Guys, do you know that if our president, all the governors, and the National Assembly people, and all the people in the civil service, if they decided to just sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep, it wouldn't matter to the oil, because the money will still go into the national treasury tomorrow. Do you know that? You don't have to stay awake to lend a shovel for the digging if shovels were needed. It simply is something that is an inheritance. That's why it is called the rent. So, what do you think has destroyed us? The culture of acceptance that for which you would add no effort is sufficient as a basis to have a good life. In Igbo land, there are children that are called Nnamdi. I have decided that it's not particularly a great name to give a child. Nnamdi means my father day, my papa day. So Nnamdi doesn't have to make an effort in life, because Nnamdi's life is guaranteed by the papa day. The story of Nigeria's oil sector is a sad and tragic story. Nigeria, Africa's largest oil exporter, only occasionally challenged by the newcomer Angola. In 2011, we were the 10th largest oil producers in the world, accounting for more than 2.2 million barrels a day. Oil revenue in 2011 was 15.3 billion and generated more than 70% of government revenues for that year. However, for a sector that determines our rise and our fall in the last almost 50 years, it is a sad thing that an assessment of nations was done, and Nigeria's performance in the Resource Governance Index carried out by the Open Society Foundation's Revenue Watch Institute gave us a score of 42%, ranking us number 40 out of 58 countries. We stood out as a sore thumb among the 80% of countries that failed to achieve good governance in their extractive sectors. The unsalvageous performance of this dominant revenue source seems to be one that we like to wear elegantly. We wear it elegantly. The bad, terrible, tragic performance of that sector. We wear it elegantly. I'm sure some people know what I'm saying. With a mindset that refuses to embrace the kind of fundamental restructuring that is necessary in order to set us free. It's like we're in bondage as a result of oil. We're taking to the lowest of level by a commodity, which, in spite of its availability, resides side by side the kind of pernicious poverty that I have come face to face with in any visit to the regions that produce the oil. Unless you say that the fate of the region that produces most of the oil was like that at a particular point in time, not much has changed. The Human Development Index performance of the South region of Nigeria has not improved since the last couple of years of South region becoming the chief sharer of the cake. It tells you that it has nothing to do with who holds the knife to share this cake. Everything has to do with the quality of the holder of the knife. So for 52 years, we have had a variable quality of the holders of the knives, whether at the center, at the state levels, and at the local government levels. And they've held this knife only to share that it may go into a belly. Because the belly has become the god of those that govern us. Their belly is their god. For were it not so, they would understand that in economics, that when you have an inheritance like oil, it soon vanishes. And that the only way that you can build a life to sustain you into the future is to immediately translate the earnings from your oil inheritance into two forms of enduring capital. Your human capital, your physical capital, and underpinned by effective quality institutions. I read the now famous PIB. How many of you know what PIB is? Even if you didn't know it, they put it right under your nose. All you need to do is go online and you will see these very funny adverts. How many of you see these Google adverts that I see? And I'm wondering to myself, you don't need to advertise a good thing that much. PIB, I read it. And I said, because as of the time that we were in government, the whole process of an omnibus bill to bring all the disparate aspects of the sector and the taxation system was in process. And the key thing that needed to happen, ladies and gentlemen, because when we were in government it was the same, that you had this grinding power of discretion of the president over oil. Discretionary power. Why do you think these guys kill themselves to want to be president? It's part of that. Take away the discretionary power to allocate anything in Nigeria, and people who don't know how to think and work hard will have absolutely nothing that would attract them into certain kinds of offices.